Oh, Madakia, say relatives. My name is Joanne Spotted Bear. Um, I am the Director of International Native Indian Programs, and I have some very important information to share. So here we go. Let's get started. Um, those of you who don't know me, I am the Director of International Native Indian Programs Incorporated. I also am of a sovereign nation, the Great Teton Sioux. I am a Lakota Oyate of Wounded Knee. And so both sides of me, I have some pretty strong points in me, and which is really good. And the first one is I did gather everybody's information and I made it one because we have too much drinking, drugs, abuse, poverty, genocide, and suicide among the Red Nation. We have over 300 million deaths that are occurring and they need to stop. We have a corporation named America here on the Red Nation land who's doing illegal business. When I got my entity number, my international number, my question is, who gave the federal government the authority to do business and kill 300 million Indians, then turn around and lie to the world? The first one, through the help of Choske Denny, Lyle Christensen, Robert Swiftdarrell, Chief Ganiknik, Blues Two Hearts, Buffy Mashburn, and David K. These spiritual leaders are the reasons why I'm able to move forward, and the schooling of reading, writing, sweat lodges, Sundance, peyote meetings, and to believe in Tungashila in the most sacred way is through that Chinupa. So here we go. America is not a country. America is a corporation named after a man named Americo Vespucci. Okay. The second one is we the Red Nation have what is called a fiduciary duty trust standards with the federal government. We sign treaties with the government. We did not sign a treaty with the 5% rich. We did not allow the federal government to take our uranium, our oil, our gases, and use them worldwide. They were supposed to pay us. This land is unpaid for. Only through death, wars, guns, and intimidation can they manipulate the Red Nation through drugs, alcohol, suicide, poverty, and genocide. Therefore, that's why I put up Cody Peeting's case on the internet, because those of you who are drinking and doing drugs, you're allowing the federal government to manipulate, and you're avoiding your right as a native to allow this government to neglect the Red Nation on an international scale. So this is where freedom of speech comes in, but also blasphemy is an international law worldwide. Blasphemy is traded with freedom of speech here in America, because if they use the word blasphemy itself, it would mean that the government has to own up to the 300 million deaths. That's called blood libel. That's also an international charge. Okay, so long as we don't stand up together as an international nation, people are going to continue to take advantage of us no matter who we are, where we come from. We're always going to have ungrateful people who want money, freedom, and things, and they'll never ever be happy. And there's always going to be someone somewhere, like China for instance, that's going to think we owe them money. Well, we're not part of the we are sovereign, S-O-V-R-A-N. We are not part of the Strawman Act, although the government did say if the Indians gave up their identity, that they would feed the Indians till the grass is no longer green or the water no longer flowed. However, the water's still flowing and Indians are still having a hard time. So my question is, if the federal government cannot or will not do their business the way they're supposed to do, not just 3/4 of the men, but all men and women put together on an international scale with over 1,000 tribes, Mexico, United States, Canada, Alaska, Hawaii, Micronesia, We support the what is called the fiduciary duty. We pull that status from the federal government because they cannot do their job. They're allowing the 5% rich to control them. That's where Robert Kiyosaki comes in. Robert Kiyosaki, I went to a meeting at Quick Start, and that's where I learned about Robert Kiyosaki, where he said his rich dad was an 8th grade dropout, his poor dad was a doctor, and it's these multimillionaires that are telling the government what to do. And if that's the case, then we signed a treaty with the federal government, not the 5% rich. And if the 5% rich want to be multimillionaires on this land, the Red Nation, they can also have the responsibility of the 300 million Indians who died, where it comes blood liable. Now, I can't do this myself, and you're going to have to help me. This is why I call this International Native Indian Programs. This is not for Wounded Knee or Pine Ridge or the Great Lakota Sioux, but this is for all of us put together. Also, I've always said, I'm not doing this because I'm selfish, I'm greedy, or insecure. I have one son, my mom and dad are dead, my grandma and grandpa are dead, and I'm not afraid to die. My son is very well taken care of by people here in Reno. But I am from Wounded Knee, so if I should die, I want my body burned. I want my heart to be buried with my dad, and I want it to be kept like that, and I do not want you to give up. But if we make this together, then we will see our land once again, and we'll be able to maintain our traditional ways, and we'll be able to do those things that are ours. We'll be able to claim everything 6 inches underground to everything above ground, including the military, and be able to bring them back. But so long as our people are divided, nobody's going to claim anything. The law, that means the courts, the judges, the police, the military, will manipulate our people of the Red Nation. We, as the sovereign people, need to stand up and realize that this is our land, and on the international level, in international court, we have to fight back for what is ours, because this is a spiritual versus religion. And in the religion books, they did kill for spirituality. Christians also died for what they believed in, and they called that blood liable. Okay, our people died for what they believed in. That is also spirituality that can also be charged for blood liable. Sarah Palin, this is why I post what I post to the best of my ability. Yes, I do read. Yes, I do know. I don't have to read all the time, but if you ever ask me, I'll know exactly what it is you need to take a look at and read for yourself. And therefore you don't have to question me. You can look at it, and if you have any questions for me, please feel free to call me. My phone number is 775-657-6234. And don't those of you who disagree with me and want to question me, we do have 2 international radio stations, and you could question me there. But my best bet is, why don't you question the federal government for all the deaths that ever occurred? The drugs, the alcohol, the suicide, the poverty, the diabetes, the sickness, the HIV, all of that crap that is named that puts people in jails, institutions, or death. Those are the things you need to be questioning. I myself, I am new to this. I have 2 years into it that I've been doing this, and it does get hard. A lot of times I do want to quit, but I keep going. I am Oglala Lakota Sioux. It's not in us to stop. It's not in us to just give up. So you'll be seeing a lot of me in and out, and I thank you for listening to this video. Aho, Madakyase. Wakatanka lemiecha tekiya nawash yellow hair. Unchi makana wichinaya. O ma palawa you hawa Elohim. Madakyase.